Hi guys, and welcome to episode 22. We've taken a couple of weeks off. I've had a few things to do, some live recording, some songwriting. So we're going to go back to a bit of blues. So I did episode 1 and episode 2 of the blues. Now I'm just going to finish off with the blues and some jazz as well, and not the traditional jazz. Anyway, I'm going to start off with Gary Clark Jr. live in North America. He's one of the modern blues artists which he's emerged, I would say, the last 10 years or so. Still only 41 years of age, born in Austin, Texas, and he's already won 4 Grammys. He's a really brilliant blues guitarist, great blues singer, and he's a great writer as well. And this album is certainly worth a listen. Nice gatefold sleeve, and nice little pic of him playing at the back there. And side 1 will consist of Grinder, The Healing, Our Love, Cold-Blooded, When My Train Pulls In, side 3, Down to Ride, You Saved Me, and Shake. And this features Leon Bridges with Jeff Daisy. Side 4, Church, Honest I Do, My Baby's Gone, and Numb. Great little album, great live album, good way to discover Gary Clark Jr. live in North America. One of my favourite all-time blues artists, and I'm so glad that I can talk with this fella, Lightning Hopkins. He was about in the 50s, early 60s. Great innovator of the blues. Love watching him on YouTube. Don't try to follow him because he doesn't do your structural 12-bar blues as such. He's just a fantastic blues artist. Lightning Hopkins, great little album. This is not an original album. It's a reissue, and the songs on here will be side 1, Penitentiary Blues, Bad Luck and Trouble, Come Home With Me, Trouble Stay Away From My Door, See That My Grave Is Kept Clean, great song. So Long Baby, side 2, Going Back to Florida, Reminiscence of Blind Lemon, that would have been Blind Lemon Jefferson. Track 3, Fan It. Track 4, Tell Me Baby. Track 5, She's Mine. And the last track will be The Foot Races On, and that's a bonus track from this very great Lightning Hopkins album. It's just called Lightning Hopkins, and if I'm not mistaken, this would have been one of his first albums. And not a lot in there. The original line notes, and there's a great little biography as well. Worth checking out. Lightning Hopkins. He's brilliant, a fantastic showman. A bit of jazz, and I got to say my favourite jazz man is without doubt Miles Davis, and this is called Kind of Blue. This album is often on my turntable. Just love Miles Davis. It's that lovely blue note sound he's got. And on here, some of the jazz legends. We've got Julian Cannonball Adderley, Paul Chambers, James Cobb, the great John Coltrane, Bill Evans, a fantastic pianist in his own right, and Wynton Kelly. This is a brilliant album. Again, it's a reissue. Worth checking Miles Davis out. There's 2 of my other favourite albums of Miles Davis will be Bitches Brew and Live in Paris. But this is a great starter, and there's some great stuff on here. The tracks will be So What, Freddie Freeloader, Blue and Green, side 2, Flamenco Sketches, and All Blues. And check him out on the Isle of Wight concert back, I think, in 1971. Miles Davis, Now we're going for a modern jazz singer. She's a female jazz singer from France. Absolutely adore this this lady. She's absolutely wonderful, like a modern take on Edith Piaf, and every track on here is an absolute smash. And it's her name is Jean Charal, and the album's called Alarm 40, and the tracks are absolutely wonderful. When I first bought this album, I picked it up. I obviously can't speak French, and there was no English written on it. But I just looked and I thought, this looks interesting. It was in the jazz. It was in the jazz section, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And I fell in love with the last track in here, and it's track 5 of side 2, Un Adieu. I think it means goodbye. Check out Jean Charal. You will not be disappointed. My other little bit of jazz will be the great Django Reinhardt with his best friend Stèphane Grappelli, both French. Django, I think more Belgium than French, and Stèphane Grappelli is that great French violinist, and we all like a little bit of these guys. And this is called the Quintet of the Hot Club of France, and this is like a really early album. This is an original album, and I've had this many years, and I often when I'm feeling in that kind of French cafe jazz mood, I'll put on a little bit of Django and Stèphane Grappelli. Songs in here, Gershwin's I've Got Rhythm, that great blues song, St. Louis Blues by W.C. Handy, Apple Direct, Limehouse Blues, Moonglow, Daphne, which was written by Django and Stèphane Grappelli, China Boy, side 2, My Sweet Georgia Brown, I Found a New Baby, and we've got the Lambeth Walk, which is that great London song, Them Their Eyes. It's got loads of songs in it, and if I can get close up to it, you can have a little look. Great album, great cover, and it's Swing from Paris, Django Reinhardt, Stèphane Grappelli, the Quintet of the Hot Club of France, Swing from Paris. Fantastic. If you've watched the Bob Dylan movie in the last couple of weeks, you'll see these names come up in it. Mike Bloomfield and Al Kooper, two names which are synonymous with the blues, and Al Kooper with a little bit of jazz as well. Great keyboard player, great Hammond organ player, and they're in the new Bob Dylan movie right through it, and I love that movie because nearly everyone in it I knew, you know, from Pete Seeger, Woody Guthrie, Mike Bloomfield, they were all there. This is a great album. It's called Super Session, Mike Bloomfield, Al Kooper and Stephen Stills. As the liner notes say on it, these guys had to get together sooner or later. Mike Bloomfield is one of my favourite blues players, and he did a lot with the Paul Butterfield band as well. This is a great album, and the tracks in here will be Albert's Shuffle, Stop, Man's Temptation, Curtis Mayfield I think, His Holy Modal Majesty, Really, It Takes a Lot to Laugh, It Takes a Train to Cry, and that was Bob Dylan. Seasons of the Witch, which is Donovan. So Donovan's had a little song squeeze on this fantastic album. You Don't Love Me, Willie Cobb, and Harvey's Tune, which is again written by Harvey Brooks. A great album, and it's called the Super Session for that one reason. You've got 3 legends on you, and it's brilliant. And there's a few more personnel on here. So we've got the 3 guys. We've got Harvey Brooks on bass, Eddie Howe on drums, Barry Goldberg on electric the electric piano. So that is Bloomfield, Kooper and Stills Super Session. One of my all-time favourites, and that will be Mr. Buddy Guy, and this album's called Hot and Cool. It's an original album. Picked it up in a used record shop. Always keep my eye out for songs like this. Buddy Guy was about well before he became famous. He was like a session player. Lots of guys like Muddy Waters and Sonny Boy Williamson would have used Buddy Guy in the early days. He's probably one of the last living legends of the Chicago days. And the tracks in here, I Got My Eyes on You, which was written by Buddy Guy and Willie Dixon. The Things I Used to Do, Eddie Guitar, Slim Jones. If You Give Me Fever, 24 Hours a Day, I Had a Dream Last Night. The first side's called the Hot Side, and the B side's called the Cool Side. And the cool side is Hold That Plane, written by Buddy Guy. A Man and the Blues, written by Buddy Guy. Sweet Little Angel, written by B.B. King, another favourite of mine. And last track, Worry Worry, written by Plummer Davis. This is a brilliant album. This is early Buddy Guy, and highly recommend that one. One of my favourites, Mr. Buddy Guy. This is quite a rare album. It's an A and B side of two different artists, and we've got Walter Horton on the A side, and we've got Paul Butterfield on the B side. Two, in my eyes, the greatest harmonica players Chicago have had. You know, we've had our, Little Walters and Junior Wells. These two guys are up there. And Little Walter Horton had another nickname. He had been called Shaky Horton as well. This is a great album, and the tracks in here, the first side A will be Walter Horton, and tracks will be Easy, Have a Good Time, Mean Mistreater, In the Mood, that was written by Walter Horton, West Side Blues, Louise, Tin Pan Alley, and Walter's Boogie. And Paul Butterfield, who I absolutely rate. He played with Mike Bloomfield as well. And it'll consist of Everything Gonna Be Alright, and that's Walter Jacobs. Poor Boy, Got My Mojo Working, which would have been a Muddy Waters song. Last Night, Walter Jacobs. Loaded, Paul Butterfield wrote that one. And One Room Country Shack. And the personnel on this side would have been Paul Butterfield, Smokey Smothers, Jerome Arnold, who was a brilliant player, Sam Lee on drums, and the personnel on Shaky Horton's tracks were Walter Horton, harmonica, and we had Robin Nighthawk, the rhythm guitar player, and he was that great blues player. Let's go back now to a bit of modern blues, and this fella, his name is Seasick Steve, came to prominence about 15 years back. He's from Mississippi, then spent probably the last 30 years in Norway, and he got discovered in the UK. He was doing some blues festivals, and he got picked up by our really famous music show called Later with Jules Holland, and Jules Holland really loved this guy. He's played many sessions on there, and he introduced the British blues scenes to the boom box, the big stomp box, and the one string diddly bow, I think it was called, just a one string cigar box. He's brilliant. The only criticism, he became a little bit of a novelty act because they didn't actually put him in with the blues, because he was getting like top 10 hits on the album charts, and he was playing like Glastonbury and the Reading festivals. I heard that his management did not want him anywhere near any blues festivals when he was famous, which is quite sad, really, because they were obviously milking the money. Great inner. The album is called Doghouse Music, and it is a great album. You know, if you can just forget the novelty fact about Seasick Steve, he's a great bluesman as well. A great documentary about him as well, travelling back to his hometown. Side A, Yellow Dog, Things Come Up, Cut My Wings, Falling Off a Rock, Doghouse Boogie, Save Me, Hobo Lou. Shirley Love, My Donny, that's a great song. The Dead Song, Caspo Mean, Salem Blues, and I'm Gone. Great album. A great inner. Seasick Steve. A compilation album, which I picked up a few years back, I would say about 10 years ago. And the album is God Don't Never Change, the songs of Blind Willie Johnson. And I absolutely adore Blind Willie Johnson. He tuned into Up and D Slide mainly, and Ry Cooder was a massive fan of his, and took the influence, Paris, Texas, from Blind Willie Johnson. Great bluesman, decades and decades ahead of his time, and some of the artists covering Blind Willie Johnson here will be Tom Waits, The Soul of a Man, great blues number. The great Lucinda Williams, It's Nobody's Fault But Mine. Derek Trucks and Suzanne Ditetchi, Keep Your Lamp Trimmed and Burning. Cowboy Junkies, nice great band, Americana band. Jesus Is Coming Soon. Blind Boys of Alabama singing Mother's Children, I've Had the Time. And the great Sinead O'Connor from Ireland, absolutely wonderful, wonderful singer, passed away far too young. And her track is called Trouble Will Be Over Soon. Side 2, Luther Dickinson featuring the Rising Star Fife and Drum Band. And the Blind Willie Johnson track is By and By, I'm Going to See the King. Lucinda Williams comes back up for track 2, God Don't Never Change, and that's the title track of the album. Back to the great Tom Waits again, and that's John the Revelator. I named my band the Electric Revelators after that song. Maria McKee, I just adore Maria McKee. What a great Americana singer. She made the Jayhawks famous, and she's singing on here, Let Your Light Shine on Me. And the great Ricky Lee Jones, and she's doing the last track, and it's Parkway, the Night's Cold Was the Ground. Fantastic album. A great compilation of singers who absolutely adore Blind Willie. Dave Arcari, who I consider a really dear friend. Me and Dave played on blues festivals going back 20 years ago. Great Scottish blues singer. And he's likened as indie blues, punk blues. When you get to see this guy live, check him on YouTube. His albums are great, but watch him live. He's brilliant. Or go to one of his gigs. I went to one of his gigs recently in Brecon, and it's just entertainment. He's a brilliant player. He's sponsored by the Great National Guitars, and he has a couple of signature guitars by National. This is an absolute brilliant album. Red vinyl. The album's called Devil May Care. He's a big Robert Johnson fan as well. And the tracks in here will be all originals. Devil May Care, 1923, Time Will Come, Givers and Takers. He does a brilliant version of Loch Lomond Home, that traditional Scottish song. Stick to Your Guns. Side B, Meet Me in the City, Whiskey Trail, Looks Like You're Walking on Water, 9 Pound Hammer, Walk the Walk, and he finishes off with an acoustic version of Loch Lomond. And Drums on Devil May Care will be Chris McCullen, electric violin, Jimmy Wilson, harmonica, Jim Harkers. Dave Arcari, please check him out. He's a good friend, and I've played many times with him. He is leading Britain's charge on the blues, but he was stroke indie punk blues. Jimmy Rogers, Muddy Waters, his first guitar player. We spoke about one of his albums early on, and this is another great album again. Jimmy Rogers, can't say too much about him. Great blues player. Nothing spectacular. It's just solid 12 bar, and he has great musicians playing with him. And the personnels will be obviously Jimmy Rogers. We've got the fantastic, legendary Pinetop Perkins on piano, Kim Wilson on harmonica, Hubert Sumlin on guitar, Bill Campbell, Calvin Fuzz Jones, and Willie Big Guy Smith on drums. This album is jam-packed full of world-class legends of the blues, and I cannot describe these guys, how brilliant they are. And you know, to have Pinetop Perkins and Kim Wilson playing here is absolutely brilliant. Side A will be You Are Sweet, Rock This House, Can't Sleep for Worrying, Why Did You Do It, Sloppy Drunk. Side B, Cold Tail Bird, Chicago Bound, Monkey Faced Woman, Ludella, and that great Muddy Waters song, Got My Mojo Working, which Jimmy Rogers would have played on. We got another Seasick Steve. So I must have liked Seasick Steve because I bought 2 of his albums, and we spoke about him earlier, so I won't go too much into it. It's a great guy. You know, his record company didn't spare, you know, the expense. They produced some great covers, and this album's called Started Out With Nothing, and I still got most of it left. It's a great title. And the tracks in here will be Started Out With Nothing, Walking Man, which is a great song, St. Louis Slim, Happy Man, Prospect Lane, Thunderbird. Side B, Fly By Night, Just Like a King, One True, Jiggers, My Youth, and the bonus track, Roll and Tumble Blues. I think that means rolling and a tumbling blues. All songs are written and produced by Seasick Steve and the dog Hazel. Seasick Steve, check him out. Another favourite of mine, and this will be Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee. And once again, if you watch the Bob Dylan movie, you've seen a little bit of these guys in there. Legends, absolute legends. Sonny Terry, I love, one of the great harmonica blowers. They called him Howlin', the blues, because he whooped and hollered when he played the harmonica. Absolutely brilliant. Pete Seeger adored him. Woody Guthrie adored him, and Brownie McGhee was a lot younger, but they became a brilliant duo. This is on Bullfrog Records, and it's called Sonny Terry, Brownie McGhee, Walk On. Nice little biography on the back. This is an original album, and tracks in here would be Gonna Lay My Body Down, Drinking in the Blues, Poor Boy, Just Rode in Your Town, Sun's Gonna Shine, Everybody's Blue, and that's with the great Lightning Hopkins, who we spoke about earlier. Trouble in Mind, great song. Side 2, I'm a Stranger Here, Down by the Riverside, Walk On, Blues for the Lowlands, Right on the Shore, again with Lightning Hopkins, Blowing the Fuses, and this is on Bulldog Records. I just adore Sonny Terry and Brownie McGhee. We got some compilation albums now, which I picked up when I first started listening to the blues many years back. And they're called the Collector Series, some of them are. And this one is the John Mayall The Collection. And John Mayall, to me, is the godfather of British blues. He started real British blues. You could actually put him in a little bit of jazz as well, because, you know, he was brought up with all these jazz guys, you know, Norman Collier and these guys in the Marquee Club, etc., and the 100 Club. Great little gatefold. These are albums I said I bought 30, 35, 40 years ago when I just got into the blues, and they're absolute classics on this album. We got Key to Love, Hideaway, Ramblin' on My Mind, All Your Love, that great Otis Rush song. They Call It Stormy Monday, absolutely brilliant. Oochie Coochie Man, Crocodile Walk, Crawling Up a Hill, Sunny Boy Glow. Side 2, A Hard Road, and that's from the actual album, The Hard Road. Supernatural, great, and that's with, this would be a mixture of Eric Clapton and Peter Green as lead guitar players. So we've got some world-class players on here. The Death of J.B. Lenoir, which was John Mayall's absolute favourite player. Nice little gatefold. There's our John Mayall. There's the tracks in the back. If I can get it close enough, you can put it on freeze. John Mayall's Blues Breakers, and that's the collection series. We got another collection series now, and that's my favourite British blues band, Fleetwood Mac, The Collection. Lovely, again, that's in there for some reason. There's Fleetwood Mac, great little picture of them, nice little biography. If you haven't really got into Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, and you need a little write-up. Not sure if you can get these albums now, but I think you can get them on CD. So you got the great songs in here: Shake Your Money Maker, Long Grey Mare, I Loved Another Woman, Gotta Move, We'll Keep on Turning, Black Magic Woman, Need Your Love So Bad, and that was written by Little Willie John, and I had the great privilege of being on tour with Mabel John, Little Willie John's little sister, and she was brilliant, and she's still performing. Dr. Brown, Need Your Love Tonight, Love That Burns, Lazy Polka Blues, Dust My Broom, Drifting, Fleetwood Mac, Love That Woman, I've Lost My Baby, the fantastic legendary song Man of the World, Someone's Gonna Get Their Head Kicked In Tonight, and that's written by Jeremy Spencer, one of my favourite British slide guitar players. Side 4, Watch Out, Homework, written by Carl Perkins, I think. Rockin' Boogie, again written by Jeremy Spencer. Jigsaw Puzzle Blues, now that was written by the young Danny Kerwin, and he was only 17 when he joined these guys, and that's a brilliant song. And it finishes off with Albatross, that fantastic instrumental. There's no doubt in my eyes that Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac are the world leaders of British blues, and there's no doubt about it. I think B.B. King said, out of all the white blues players, there's only one that really deserves any acknowledgement, and he said that's Peter Green, although Clapton is up there as well, you know. So Fleetwood Mac, The Collection, and this is the Collector Series. We got another John Mayall. Again, once again, I'm an absolute fool for John Mayall's Blues Breakers. This is a lovely album, and this is from the Superstar record label. It's obviously a reissue, and it's brilliant. It's got a booklet in it. Fantastic booklet. I paid a couple of pounds for this. There's the album over there, tucked away nicely. Brilliant album. It's on the Superstar label, and it's called John Mayall. It's just called John Mayall, and the tracks in here will be Checking Up on My Baby, Broken Wings. That was the first blues song which I fell in love with, and that had been about 1984 when I was still probably 21, 22 years of age, and that song is still in my head to this day. Broken Wings, check it out. My Time After a While, Ready to Ride, Double Crossing Time, which was written by John Mayall and Eric Clapton. Leaping Christine, great song. Then we got Killing Time, Brand New Start, Someday After a While You'll Be Sorry, and that was written by King and Thompson. She's Too Young, John Mayall, and the last track would be I Can't Quit You Baby by Willie Dixon. These are great compilation albums, and if you're just getting into the blues, they're brilliant. They absolutely are. Here's another favourite of mine, and that's the Taj Mahal, and this is the collector series again. Great inner, great little write-up. Taj Mahal, if you didn't know, started his time with a band called the Rising Suns featuring Roy Cooper. I think they only did one album, and it was a classic, and they went their own ways, and both brilliant bluesmen. But if you like your blues with a little bit of a Caribbean twist in it, Taj Mahal is the guy. And you know, some of the tracks in here, which I'll say, Fishing Blues, brilliant, got a bit of a swing to that one. We got Candyman, which will be the Reverend Gary Davis, Staggerly, Diving Duck Blues, Statesboro Blues, a fantastic song, Statesboro Blues, Texas Woman Blues, Railroad Bill, that's a great song, Further On Down the Road, Easy Rider. The Taj Mahal, this was a great album for me to actually start getting into this fella, and I'll always delve in. And they use Taj Mahal for documentaries, and he's a great historian of the blues. Check him out, the Taj. We've got a couple of albums which came out in the 80s, because the blues got quite big in the 80s. And this one is Muddy Waters, and it's called, well, it's just the Chess Masters, and it was actually advertised on British TV, so it shows that blues was making headways back in the 80s, and that's when I got into the blues. I was tired of the electronic music which was coming through, but don't get me wrong, I did like a bit of it, but I fell head and toe in love with the blues, and I fell in love with this guy, Muddy Waters. And there's some great songs in here. There's a little biog, and these were selling quite cheap, but I don't think you can get them now. I Just Want to Make Love to You, Rolling Stone, Honey Bee, I'm Ready, Oochie Coochie, Louisiana Blues, Just to Be With You, Gypsy Women, Just Want to Go Back to Louisiana Blues, one of my favourite Muddy songs. Manish Boy, Long Distance Called, The Walking Blues, same thing, Rolling and Tumbling, the classic. And I'm teaching, I'm mentoring a young slide player with that number. She Loves Me, Canary Bird, 40 Days and 40 Nights. A great little album, came out in the 80s. And another blues album which came out in the 80s, and it was called Checking Out the Blues. And all because blues was making inroads. And it didn't last that long. 88, I would say, up until about 2004, 2005, and then we started forgetting about the blues again. I never forgot about the blues. It's there in me. It's in my DNA. And this is a great little compilation album. It's called Checking Out the Blues. And as I said, it's featuring Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, John Lee Hooker, Lightning Slim, Mississippi John Hurt, Elmore James, Etta James, B.B. King, Otis Rush, and Little Walter. And some great songs here. Baby Please Don't Go, Rolling and Tumbling, Otis Rush, Blue Mood, B.B. King, The Letter, Elmore James, Dust My Broom, Howlin' Wolf's great song, I'm Going Down Slow. Brilliant. Howlin' Wolf's other song on here again is Killing Floor, one of my favourite Howlin' Wolf songs. Mississippi John Hurt, Monday Morning Blues, I'm Satisfied. And that's a little look into the rest of my blues collection and the few jazz albums I've got. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed, and sorry it's been 2-3 weeks, but I have been rather busy, and I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe as well. And hopefully we'll be doing episode 23 in the next 2 weeks. Take care, guys. See you soon.